They were able to somehow keep that ball rolling in the duo lane. Let's see if they can do it again here with picks and bans for Game 2 ready to get underway. Dignitas will be the first pick selection this time, so let's see if some of these same picks make it through. Remember, the Ama was one of those ones that was first pick selected for them. Is the Sobek going to make it over to their side again? Some of those ones that were the big impacts in Game 1, a chance for Dig to change the narrative. Is they're going to ban away the Chernabong and the Morgan one more time. This is all pretty standard. Athena taken out too. We saw that as well. So far, things are looking pretty normal. It's going to be that first pick where we know if they really make any big adjustments.
Only real difference is that NRG has a decision. Oh, no, never mind. They're going to go with the Circuit one more time.
Yeah.
Dignitas, Qvo could pick up the Robin here. There is a chance that there's also Baron on the board, but I'm looking mostly towards this Freya. Freya as an option can be a little bit risky, but of course,
there it is.
Amaterasu, Trixtank wants his baby back.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give it over to him, too, because EmilZy plays it so well. Gave him nice pressure over there in the dual lane, or not even pressure so much, but a way to survive the pressure they were experiencing in dual lane to kind of make things a little bit safer for them. So go ahead and make sure that that's on your side this time. Let Trix be the aggressor that he is. And that means NRG, though, can select the Ram Freya as their Hunter mid combination. That is a lot of damage, Taco, once they get some items online.
It's a lot of damage, but they need protections in order to make it
Yes.
to that stage.
Yes.
It's a little bit risky here going for the Ram and Freya up first and foremost, but Dignitas are going to actually opt for the Soul here. I think that that's a little bit unusual, but it does make sense in the long term just because the Separate, excellent tool for avoiding the Astral Barrage as well as the Valkyrie's Discretion, and no one wants to deal with the damage that Freya can put out off of the Banish.
Yeah, I think it's because already it seems pretty clear that NRG want to go with that double basic attack strategy here, so Soul kind of gives you your best way to try and manage it. And even though they likely aren't going to pick it now, maybe they ban it, so Dignitas want to just grab it for themselves while they still can, paired with that Sobek for great control in the fights. But how is that Sobek going to be faring up against this Chang'e? Might be seeing that over in the solo lane, I'm thinking, for maniaKK.
The problem here is that Variety won't really have a whole lot of kill potential against maniaKK, I feel.
Right.
In fact, I think that maniaKK would probably be able to pressure out Variety because it's just hard for a Sobek to really have much to do there outside of survive in the laning phase. And if you're able to keep things even and keep the Chang'e locked down to the solo lane for a little bit, normally you'd view that as a positive, but you have to remember, maniaKK's just going to be free farming the entire time,
Right.
and I'm not sure that Qvo is going to be able to head over there anytime soon, at least not for the first 15 minutes, because if he spends too much time over in solo and NRG recognize it, they could strong arm away the entirety of mid and duo side jungle.
We'll have to try to make sure they can find that balance as they put some sustain with their sustain and grab Sylvanus. It's also going to be a nice bit of pressure as well in that dual lane. His clear is tough to match, at least from other supports. And yeah, that's the answer to that, right? Hey, if you want to get Sylvanus for clear, we'll get Izanami for clear, and we'll see who's better. Spoiler alert, I think it's going to be the Izanami. He's pretty good at that.
I'm concerned, though. Izanami for Arkkyl. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't think Arkkyl can play this god, it's just that
That's the right pick.
I'm worried adapting is going to make him regret things, because
Yes.
Daji, we've always talked about her faring best against gods without CC immunity on their ultimates.
Yes.
And looking at everyone from Dignitas, that seems to be the case for a lot of their carries.
Yeah, it's not going to be very easy to get away from this Daji, but is that enough to persuade you to vote for NRG here in this game? Go ahead and let us know in Mixer Chat. Or do you think Dignitas are going to take it? I don't like Daji a lot of the times. I like Daji here. 10th pick selection, last one to respond to the sort of the abilities or you've already seen from your opponents. She can burn some beats.
What I'm expecting to happen is we'll probably end up seeing EmilZy just using out or burning out the Wrath of Terra to get the initial escapes out of the way from Dignitas,
Right.
and then adapting will come forward with the blink into the Paolau or something similar to that extent, and it could be a catastrophe for Dignitas if they're not careful with their positioning.
But if they can get that Soul Izanami online, it's hard to answer. We'll just have to see. It's up in the air between Dignitas and NRG. Who's going to take it? This all-important first set of the day. Let's let the casters take it away.
Thank you so much, team on the desk. Yes, we're back again. 1-0. Our energy here in this set against Dignitas. The compositions, though, aggro, have changed considerably, and no Fafnir or Baron is the first two things I want to say.
Fafnir looked awfully appetizing,
Yeah, he
didn't he?
did.
With a Freya in the mid lane and a Ramen duo. But NRG clearly wanted to get even more sustain than just the Chang'e was going to provide, and also help the clear.
emilZy's going to run towards Arkkyl, and the trio are boxing out between the pair. emilitoo's trying to fall back towards his camps at the moment, but that's trapped emilZy in the lane a little bit. I think it's a bit of an indecision about NRG in the duo lane about what they wanted to do. Now they've lost pressure. emilitoo's still trying to do the purple buff, and Trix is like, hello! How's it going at this purple buff?
Oh, no.
Don't mind if we steal it and maybe look for a kill as well as you lose farm in the lane at the same time.
That's always the nightmare scenario where you lose purple when trying to start it in lane, and you lose the majority of the wave because Izanami is able to clear so quickly.
That's
right
comms.
there.
That's comms between the two of them. One went one way, one went the other, and Dig just knew what they were doing was clearing the wave and then just following them through.
It's also that their picks don't really lend themselves to securing that buff. You look at Terra or on her. You can't body block those, emilZy. They're going through.
I don't think he was trying to. I think he's just trying to help clear the wave as quick as possible so they don't take too much poke. But look at Trix now. He's towards the mid lane, being a bit of a nuisance if he can. Instead, he's going to fall towards the oracles, but Yammyn adapting. No, this is going on.
Yammyn shouldn't let Dignitas get away with that, and they will not. It just feels like the call there to start at purple is pretty risky up against. I know that Ama doesn't have any secure either, but Izanami's going to come there and be there very soon. And like I said, you really need that burst damage to be the ones to guaranteed confirm that buff. And you're looking at Sylvanus route is your burst damage, and emilZy was just a little bit off the mark.
And so coming into this, we were talking just off air, and I have a feeling that emilZy and maniaKK have to have big games here. Both on sustain, but both on two gods that, well, are going to have a bit of trouble in this set, I feel, against the composition that Dignitas have put together.
A little bit risky. I do think that Sylvanus can... Wrath of Terra is such a big AoE that even if you're getting Ama ulted and you use Wrath of Terra to give yourself CC immunity, chances are you'll hit someone else at the same time.
True.
Plus, you can give you and your team physical protections by way of wisps. So if, let's say, Yammyn's ultimate is down and doesn't have beads, and you know he's getting Ama ulted, you pop those wisps on him, and it makes it at least a little bit better. I'm very curious to see how well Arkkyl is going to be able to time that silence to prevent, say, an ultimate to get out of range of that dazzling offensive.
Pull connects from emilZy onto Trix, but that just brings him in range to battle down emilitoo's health bar some more. It will get the shell out of emilZy too, but it delayed them enough to not go to the purple and adapting. I think he just got spotted by Arkkyl there on that rotation. Well, he's still going to get focused as adapting's going in.
Shell there for Trixtank, but Arkkyl still pretty slowed down. ML going to roll forward, and first blood is going to go the way of NRG. It's emilZy who gets it. Adapting relieves pressure at the perfect time.
It was a weird pull from emilZy, let's put it that way, but when you think about the bigger picture of, hey, if we stop them going to that purple, adapting can get over here and maybe contest it, maybe stop them, or best case scenario, find a kill. And guess what? They got the best case scenario. The kill goes to NRG. Unfortunately, it goes to the Sylvanus, but he was behind in farm too, so hey, it helps.
You know what's crazy, though, is that dodgy pick was literally, it might be the only character in the entire game that you would normally see in jungle that gets that kill. Because normally Izanami is able to fade away and then you can't hit a lock-on target like her Trickster Spirit.
Sure.
But because the bleed...
Cone and the bleed?
Just the bleed from an auto attack, that's part of Dodgy's passive, reveals Arkkyl right away. It puts adapting in a position where he can use Trickster Spirit, uses it to body block Arkkyl really, really well, and then even Shell isn't enough.
Well, there's two gods in this team then that Arkkyl has to be very careful of consistently, because his escape is going to get broken every single time by adapting and those bleeds and just the basic attacks that come with the passive that Dodgy brings, as you were saying. But not just that, emilZy too, the Wisps and the Wrath of Terror, both dot damage that will break that stealth mechanic. Arkyl's put himself in a tough spot here.
He has.
He didn't know Dodgy was coming, but he knew Sylvanus was going to be in the lane against him.
Look, yes, that's unfortunate for Arkkyl. I'm sure he would rather play against something else. Hold on, QvoFred showing up on this right-hand side. 3 beads and could get pulled now, but adapting off the mark.
Variety, though, still going to get pulled in and be second blood, I should say, over in the solo lane. The pre-beads from Kivo, he expected a waxing moon, didn't he?
But it was down for another, 5 seconds or whatever it was. So just a little bit off on his mental timing on when that ultimate was coming up. Good idea, But that's why that play that I was freaking out about last game, where adapting pre-beats to the impale, is so good, because when you do it that way, you look pretty foolish.
It really is. Between these two junglers, rather, it's always anything you can do, I can do better. These two have been going at it for years so far. Adapting, though, on paper, definitely the better player. He's got more world championships and more final results to his name, and it makes a big impact on the scene and the fans at home, too.
They have different play styles. I really like watching both junglers, because you really do get to see what excellence looks like in two different ways. Adapting is the ultimate bloodthirsty assassin. No one finds his spots better than adapting to get into a backline, and he's the most opportunistic player I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's really incredible what he's able to do. But QvoFred just does the basics of jungle so well. Does it all perfectly. I mean, he farms really, really well. He is able to initiate well. His ability, timing, and accuracy is phenomenal. And so they feel like two different styles, and that's why it's always been so much fun to compare the two and watch these two all go up against one another.
It does feel Qvo sometimes in the team fights can get a little bit lost, or some small errors there, but I feel adapting shines in the team fights ever so slightly more. But like you said, Qvo, all-rounder.
Yeah, it just feels like adapting is pretty feast or famine a lot of the time. He's either making all the plays or is the first one out.
In the jungle right now, Adapts is trying to make some more plays. He's looking for a target, and beats down on QvoFred. He's got one. He's looking to end his life, and will do so in time. The ultimate came through from Qvo, but it wasn't enough. Now Yammyn's overextended, though, trying to support Adapting, and he could be in a bit of trouble.
Aegis is there just in case, but it wasn't even needed. maniaKK came through with a meditation and a heal to make sure. And that pre-beads comes back to haunt QvoFred again.
Freya's going to be careful on the way back here. Oh, we got through that plot timing. Good place, but Waxing Moon to follow up. No ultimate available. 4 kills for NRG now against the team that's at the top of Europe, Dignitas.
And would you believe that Adapting's 2-0-2, been a part of every single one of those kills, has been truly instrumental in every single one of those kills. Not like he's showing up and getting an assist credit. He is the one orchestrating all of those kills for NRG. And when NRG was the best of the best, and no one will ever match the level that they played at during Season 2.
I mean, they might.
No one ever will.
Season 6?
Nope.
How could that not happen?
It's not going to happen.
Why?
The numbers that they put up were so absurd.
It could happen.
It never will.
Technically the map has changed since that season, so you can't get that out of gold, I guess.
And teams have just gotten better, but the way that NRG understood the game at that point was light years ahead. And I understand that's a distance measurement, not a time one, but they were so far ahead of everyone else that it was absurd. Their career stats are so bloated from that Season 2 that we can't use them.
No, that's true. Waxing Moon used by maniaKK to try and slow down Variety, but Variety had already lurked in the waters. Beautiful damage out of the Sobek, who's looking for a kill. 2 levels down in this lane, so to speak, but realizing that he chases any further, there could be reinforcements for maniaKK, and there was waiting. Yammyn and emilZy were just on that area just in case.
And what does maniaKK lose for that? His ultimate, sure, but that's not a whole lot to commit, and Variety lost half a wave underneath the tower because he was chasing maniaKK out into the jungle. maniaKK just backs to base, buys his Genji guard, and says, okay, that's totally fine by me. He's going to continue to control that lane by this point. Variety is going for a Pestilence here instead of a Void Stone early on. I love maniaKK not falling into the trap of buying Void Stone, understanding that he needs to be a little bit tankier, and the damage is more or less irrelevant for him by this point in the game, so just go with the Genjis, be as tanky as possible.
Really surprised by the Devour's golems from Arkkyl. I've been keeping an eye on his build so far, and on an Izanami, generally you see Bloodforges a little bit more so because you don't get the rate of return of the lifesteal because of the way your basics work.
Right, and her scaling is absurd. Her ultimate 100% scaling, her 2 90% scaling. So usually you see Bloodforge.
You want power, right?
Exactly.
You want power and fast. You don't care about survival. You can just burst people down.
But Arkkyl did the same sort of style last game where even on her, he goes for Devos first and then finishes the boots, and that gives him a massive power spike as soon as he finishes boots because that's around the same time you're getting close to finishing off your Devos. I do think there is certainly a very good reason to be going for Bloodforge on Izanami, but I'm not offended by Devourer's Gauntlets here for Arkkyl.
Sure. At the moment as well, though, Arkkyl in a bit of a better spot. Obviously, emilitoo has those boots finished. He wants the extra mobility badly, but it does mean he's delaying his stacking item, which may not even be a stacking item. We see different versions, but I think Devourer's Gauntlets is definitely one that you'd rather see on Rama.
Without a doubt. I'd be shocked if we saw the Bloodforge on Ram. Now, I guess Ram's ultimate does scale really hard.
I was going to say, it does scale too, yeah.
If you hit all 3. We saw Transcendence Ram a couple times, and That hurt a little bit on the
yeah.
inside for me,
But it didn't survive long enough.
it did not. No.
Overall.
It was not that good.
It's
I mean,
like
180% scaling is a lot.
Sure.
But
For those
Wait,
who are
do you
trying
get-
to, for those who are trying to work out 180% scaling, by the way, it said 60 there, but it's 3 shots, guys. Just so you know.
it's 3 shots, but you get 50% of the damage
get
on the
more.
first one,
Yeah.
75% on the second, and then 100% on the third. Does that include the scaling, or is that only base? That might
I think
be
that's
only.
just
That might.
base.
I think that might include scaling.
Probably does.
So it'd be. I'm not doing that math.
You're not doing it?
No,
Totally would have.
I know.
You would have got it right too.
I know.
That's the
And
scary thing.
And I would not have gotten it right.
I'd have been like, yes, you are correct. And then Flairbeat would have responded with like, oh, it's 2 off.
Well,
Like
whatever.
2 damage off or something like that. Still 4 kills in this game for Energy. And the pace is slowed as well. We're starting to talk about builds a little bit more. Because ever since then, Dignitas have just, well, not taken a fight because they realize they're being aggressed on, just like Adapting did then towards Trixtank, which is opening the map up a little bit for Energy to keep finding these wins around these middle camps.
maniaKK
Cheeky.
keeps variety in lane. That's all that is.
That's
Because
mean.
this guarantees the tier 1 tower, basically, or at least gets him even closer to it.
Well, I mean, he should be able to get a couple of the minions down, but yeah, he's going to back away. He's worried about an engagement coming through. So at the end of the day, variety sticks for the farm. The tower will fall. And now he's going to, well, have to walk back to lane or TP to a tier 2.
They're not even allowed to back yet because maniaKK still stays on top of him. You want to keep this Sobek in lane as long as possible in that position because maniaKK is level 12, Variety is not. You want to make sure that he's backing at an inopportune time, loses some farm underneath the tier 1 tower, and isn't able to just back, get his relic, and teleport.
Blink of him adapting towards QvoFred, who saw it coming and turns it around and throws the ultimate in response. But Adapting still hunting for the kill, gets the parallel off onto Trix, but Trix still fine and avoids 2 ultimates with an ult of his own.
Man, so much damage from Energy. They don't get any kills out of it, but they do quite
pull.
a bit. It's great pull
What
off
a
the
pull.
vanish from EmilZy. Variety is still Sobek, so we don't get the kill.
They practice with Freya quite a lot because obviously Freya's had a couple of changes. The banish obviously is now the same every single time, so it is easy to get used to it. But it was a beautiful time pull from emilZy. Zyrhoes is on his own here. The rest of his team in tatters, having to go back to base, so he gets picked in mid thanks to the rotation out of Energy.
Love that play from emilitoo. Rotates over. It cost him his tier 1 on the left-hand side, but it's kind of only a matter of time against Izanami anyways. No reason to cry over spilled tower
Milk,
milk.
I guess, is the best way of putting it. But at the same time, too,
That is the best way of putting it.
Energy, you just get the tier 1 tower on the right side anyway, so those cancel each other out in the
Sure.
grand scheme of things. Just map position, which is a map positional advantage for Dignitas around the Gold Fury. And where Arkkyl is now, he's stepping on a few wards as he goes deeper in the jungle. Got to be a little bit careful. I love the fact that they don't look at him either. Sometimes players will normally automatically look through the wall of the character, and it gives the game away. By them just continuing for the jungle, like, we don't see you. You're not on a ward. Don't worry about it. You can go stand there again. You know, go stand there again. We won't be waiting.
Please do. Please. We insist. Just camp out right there. It's really nice. Trust us. That definitely is a part of the mind games. I think, not looking at you, especially not throwing abilities through the wall whenever you can really
as soon as you
understand
can
if
see it,
someone.
yeah.
Those are really good ways to play around having ward coverage, but not giving it away.
So far, 5 kills in the game, all for Energy, all involving Adapting too, just to mention that one more time. Looks like a very pretty picture on the KDA from Energy's point of view right now. Nobody dead, and they've all been involved in kills, which is a fantastic news for the squad. It has developed about a 4,500 experience lead, well, 2,500 gold, which isn't a huge amount, but to be fair, under 15 minutes, it's pretty damn solid.
Experience is definitely very solid. That'll equate to multiple level leads in multiple different lanes. It's 2 on each side lane.
This is really cheeky from Energy. Taking the Pyromancer on the right, knowing that the only one really available there would potentially be the Sobek. But he's already used the Lurk in the Waters recently, which they knew about. The teleport was on cooldown. And all the while, the rest of Energy just make sure the Gold Fury's in check.
They get that under control, get their Oracle vision as well, and Energy off to a great start. And their team fighting composition is phenomenal because they have a ton of sustained variety. That's why he rushes the Pestilence this time around. I'd make a pretty strong wager that that Magic Focus is turning
Divine
into a Divine Ruin.
maniaKK, locked, pulled, knocked up. Gonna be able to get some damage off, but the ult follow-up is gonna get the beads out of maniaK. Still maniaKK under pressure with the silence, and Zyrhoes forced to ult in response. That cost him 3 ultimates to bring down maniaKK there. What can NRG do in response?
Adapting's got to use the ultimate, looking for Zyrhoes, who does have his beads, uses them just in case, brings it to frontliners, but Yammyn's ultimate does very little.
Shell was there from Trixtank to help prevent some of that too, as emilitoo now rotates round, forces out Disapparate from Zyrhoes. Arkkyl still in the duo lane, farming up. But at the end of the day, it was a pick on maniaKK, uncontested by NRG, that Dignitas get away with.
Very, very easy pick onto maniaKK, who has a ton of CDR in this build, but not a lot of outright health. It's good protection, yes, Genji's guard is a solid amount, but he's sitting at max CDR already.
Max CDR, and he's going to make an impact, but hello, Dignitas. A little bit of a cheeky slap of the Fire Giant to check its health bar and see what the response time of NRG was. Not good enough, says it's Dignitas at the 15-minute mark. It's just too early right now. The window isn't there. Trixtank now in the mid lane. Last player to hit level 12, looking for his second relic. Although his support opposition hasn't taken the trip back to base yet to get his.
No, and EmilZy will now do just that. Could be sprint here for EmilZy. Actually goes for the blink. So NRG's composition was lacking a little bit of initiation, and this will make up for it with use of this blink. I think this is the right idea. Going back to maniaK's build, he's sitting at 50% CDR already. And I'm usually not one that's really that concerned about overcapping your CDR, but I do think that this makes it more likely that he sells his Mage's Blessing early in the build rather than late, because now you're getting very little value out of it. You have a million MP5 between Genji's and Breastplate. You don't really need it for the mana sustain. The 10% CDR is irrelevant to you now. I think he needs to be selling this as soon as possible to finish off Rod of Asclepius as soon as possible.
And that's what he's going to be headed for next, the Rod of Asclepius, you expect?
I think it should be, because it would up his healing and the healing coming out of EmilZy.
Gold Fury started here just by emilitoo. EmilZy's alongside him as Trixtank and Arkkyl look on at the situation unfolding. Right inside, Susano was just getting his speed and trying to get here, but already the fight's underway. Beads used by Arkkyl early on. He's pulled into danger. Adapting, and the whole squad of NRG remove Arkkyl from the map. And now they're looking at Zyrhoes.
Zyrhoes. The separate pulled in before it goes
Beautiful
off.
pull.
Trix is going to fall. Next goes Zyrhoes. It's a double for adapting. maniaKK on the backside in trouble and will fall to Variety. But the dominoes that are going down are black and yellow.
Welcome to health bars getting low on NRG, but the health bar of Variety is gone, and QvoFred cannot get involved. The whole squad of NRG now, minus maniaKK, heading towards the potential Fire Giant at this point. My oh my, that Paolo pull, that was so close to Disapparate coming through to save the day of Zyrhoes, and he pulled it so quick to make sure he was trapped in an awkward spot.
But it wasn't just Zyrhoes either. The thing is, he pulled Zyrhoes and Trix and yanked him before that Disapparate goes out. Adapting knows he has, what, a second, if even, in order to hit both and then yank them both. When Adapting's playing like this, good luck beating NRG ever. Like, it's really that simple. When Adapting is this hot, the NRG looks completely unbeatable.
Credit where it's due, though. The whole team is playing well for NRG here.
They absolutely are.
Like, you give the credit to Adapting, and I agree. But I tell you what, Yammyn and emilitoo and EmilZy all backing up too. maniaK's waxing moons. Like, they really help burst Arkkyl down too.
Well, that's the thing. That NRG has always been this team that looks unbeatable when they're at their best, because everyone's always playing very well. And Yammyn and emilitoo, two very consistent players. Adapting, as I said in the last game, feast or famine. Yeah. But when he's on...
Oh, he's feasting when he's feasting.
He's feasting. I mean, no one gets fatter than him whenever he's eating. But even in the games where he's off, NRG wins a majority of those.
Sure.
And when I say off, I don't mean he's feeding his brains out. I just mean he's not having a performance like this. And it is completely unfair for us to expect this level from Adapting every game. It's outright unfair, but he's done it so often that we don't really have a choice.
I completely understand that too. The fun thing about that fight, though, with the Gold Fury, is surprising seeing EmilZy blink onto Arkkyl and ult just Arkkyl alone. And then the beads were used, and the pull after the fact is what ended up actually setting up the whole engagement. Because with Arkkyl removed, a 4v5 without a Hunter is not a fun fight. And EmilZy's going for it again!
Come on.
He caught it with the pull!
That's a joke.
Now has to use the lurking in the waters as he gets shot suey down by Adapting and the whole of NRG. What a pull. What a play.
Are you kidding?
What a situation.
That's absurd. That's not fair.
Yeah, it is.
The blink pull. Like, every time I see my support go for a blink pull, I'm like, will you stop trolling and play the game?
In fairness, QvoFred is giggling in his own head there like, thank God that wasn't me, because we were on top of each other there. That blink pull Because Qvo jumped right next to maniaKK too. And I'm like, well, he's going to hit one. Which one's it going to be?
That's insane.
Left-hand side, though, Dignitas can do a bit of split pushing of their own. There's NRG piled down the mid lane, looking for a tier 2. The 2 carries on the left-hand side will get a tier 2, but it's leaving the rest of Qvo and Trix to try and defend towers at the best of their ability. Left-hand side does fall, but they can't get more than that.
You know what sucks for the rest of Europe now? Is that Adapting just did this against Dignitas and with 2 gods that no one else plays. So what, you're just going to let them have Naja every game now? I don't think so. You can't do that.
Nemesis, you mean? But it's the same thing.
No, you could go Naja. What I mean is most teams are banning Naja.
Gotcha.
Now he'll do it to you with Nemesis. So we're banning that. Now he gets Naja.
Well,
he hasn't even tried Pele yet. These teams haven't prioritized Pele at all. You want to see a bad thing look like this with Pele?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, I was thinking back to the World Championships once upon a time in Season 2 when he pulled out the Fenrir, which had not been seen in forever, and everyone's like, oh, Fenrir, can anyone play Fenrir? And you're like, do you not know Adapting?
Yeah.
Do you not know where he found his ground? Now, though, NRG in a commanding lead here. I expected 3 games in this, and with how the year's gone so far, I was kind of feeling Dignitas in this set. But it's not to be so far. On the day, NRG are here to play.
It's absurd, man. This NRG team, this doesn't, I don't think, disqualify Dignitas from being one of the best teams in Europe.
Sure.
That's the thing that's hard about Europe is that these games, sometimes a team just comes in hot. And these teams are so good that when they don't make mistakes and they operate at peak capacity, they are literally unbeatable. But they all are at the same time. And so someone obviously has to lose. And today it was NRG. But it feels like it could just as easily tomorrow be Dignitas.
Well,
and that's what's going to make HRX and placement stage and all that kind of stuff that much more exciting.
It's not technically over yet. There's still 3 Phoenixes standing for Dignitas. They've not lost one yet. We've seen teams plenty throw or have trouble sieging, defending, and looking down the compositions. It's interesting to see how this will play out, because Soul definitely good on the defensive.
Yeah, Soul good on the defensive, good poke damage, can be pretty slippery and hard to lock down. It's just the item difference. Usually in a game like this, it's the XP that really kills you, but Dignitas has done a great job of staying relevant in the XP department. In fact, Trixtank is ahead of EmilZy right now. Zyrhoes is even with Yammyn. I mean, it's really impressive that Dignitas is this close, but gold differential is massive so far, and the item difference as a result is also very noticeable.
Do you contest this Fire Giant? That's the real question now. You've got all your Phoenixes up still. You've still got one tower remaining.
I think you might. I think you do.
I think you take a fight.
Because let's say NRG gets this fire. It's not enhanced, so that's good. But then you're guaranteed to give up tier 2 on right. Now you're down almost 10k. And would you rather take a fight down 10k on a Phoenix with the enemy team having Fire Giant, or down 7k around the Fire Giant? I think it's close. I wouldn't be upset with Dignitas if they chose to give this up, but I don't think they need to.
Biggest issue right now for Dignitas is ward control around this Fire Giant that has just spawned now. They're going to have to get into the pit eventually, and a couple of bases did come through to get some wards for themselves. Sentry for Arkkyl, Sentry for Variety. But the Fire Giant has already been pulled by NRG.
Variety, first one in, gets a Sentry ward down, out of the range of the pull because of the banish, but that'll send Trixtank in just in case.
Oh, Adapting went
in from Adapting.
He did, and he gets the Paolo off too, looking for prime real estate targets. He's going to find Variety, who lurks in the water in response. The rest of the team weren't paying attention. They're looking at the carries towards Trix, or maybe even Qvo, but Trix is so low.
Good knock up there by Qvo, but still not quite enough. Snipes coming through, nearly kills Arkkyl. My goodness. Maybe Transcendence would have been the call for emilitoo. My man's hitting hard.
But the carries are pretty much out of the fight. Zero's the only one around with his ultimate available that can make an impact now, but he's forced so far back. It's Qvo on the front line having to deal with Adapting, who is just whacking away, bleeding him down. He's not even after the kill. He's just making sure he can't stop the Fire Giant.
Man, Adapting disciplined as ever to let that kill get off.
That was really disciplined.
Very much so.
At this stage of the game, that was so disciplined. They're the kills that you'll see happen in some of the amateur games, like the minor league or the SGS a little bit more so, where teams make mistakes that give the window for the enemy team to get back into it.
Not the case for NRG here.
No.
Another 24 nearly perfect minutes from them. They'll head towards a Phoenix. Now, they have a lot of gold in hand, I'd imagine, but actually maybe not that much. About 1,000 apiece. That's enough to warrant backing potentially, but I also don't hate them sticking around and giving it at least one shot at this Phoenix, especially with, take a look at the relic situation for
yeah.
Dignitas. I mean, they are really lacking. emilZy doesn't have Blink, but if he can find a pull onto Arkkyl, Arkyl's dead.
It's a pull or it's a banish. They're the only two, but the banish now used by Yammyn. This siege is a bit lackluster in a weird way. They can only really split push, and I think that's why they're backing up. Like you said, no Blink available for emilZy. His ultimate was on cooldown until just now. So the window just wasn't there. They're going to have to catch him out in the open if they can.
Plus, you've already got enough gold that you can get back and start working on your next few items. Pyromancer's available, so it makes it that much easier to back without spending a lot of time walking out of the fountain. No real reason to try and force it. Still plenty of time on this FG.
It's looking, though, that Dignitas are beatable. Right now, they do bleed.
They do.
Not as heavy as they could have done against some teams, but NRG are really showing that off right now. As 2 kills and a gold fury. Nicely done from Dignitas. Let's give credit where it's due. To realize there was a little bit of a window there where NRG were going to back, and a little lapse in judgment from NRG, honestly, all backing at the same time and giving that up.
This Dignitas team has definitely done a very good job of staying as competitive as possible in a match like this.
That's the one thing Dignitas have done better at this year.
I agree.
Where they've done the old energy thing of, hey, we're behind, but we're still going to farm.
Exactly, and they farmed beautifully. Again, Trixtank maintains a level lead. You already have Qvo and Variety very near to level 20. Arkkyl near to level 20. Zyrhoes near level 20. This is still possible for Dignitas. It's unlikely now, but it's possible.
All 3 Phoenixes are up mid-wave and right inside are pushed out far enough. Then NRG may need to go and deal with some of those minions and bring them to the forefront. Unless they collapse as a whole 5 and just go for an engage. emilZy's not been scared of pulling the trigger on that Blink time and time again. He'd love Arkkyl again or Zyrhoes. They're the 2 prime targets he's after every time.
Pull onto Variety off the banish again, and that's not only looking in the waters, but Dark Portal from Arkkyl used as well.
And now the Blink's still available for emilZy to go in again on the next initiation if he wants to. There it is, looking, only going to catch Trixtank though. Trix's going to turn around, but Waxing Moon and damage onto Arkkyl, who's trying to survive. Can the last Paolo shot do anything? No, adapting, he got him!
Blind.
He got him!
He was invisible! You can't do that to him!
He
That's
did,
not
though.
fair! Now Yammyn is really low on the back, so is emilZy. Zyrhoes, in fact, will get that kill. And Dignitas force NRG off this Phoenix nicely.
Oh, body blocks from Zyrhoes are beautiful, but he ate way more damage from Yammyn than he wanted to. And adapting could clear him up. The Disapparate will come through big. Zyrhoes gets the shutdown as he went for the Disapparate damage. And now it's only maniaKK and Yammyn to try and get a Phoenix with no minions and with no physical penetration.
Good luck. This Phoenix is still standing. Yammyn's got a
How
bead.
did he still have beads?
Just in case. Man, adapting is just insane, dude. He didn't hit the pull until Arkkyl had already dashed. And he turns invisible while he's dashing,
And
by
still
the way.
catches it.
And he still caught him.
He only had 1 shot left as well, if you noticed. Yeah, we didn't catch it on the screen, but that was good enough. The fun thing is, though, is that Dignitas hold. They managed to survive that fight. And a lot of that comes down to NRG getting a little bit too deep. They're going for the kills and not going for the Phoenix. There was a lot of focus on kills there. And it actually cost NRG that Fire Giant. They're not going to be able to use it now. They're going to have to wait for the next one.
I don't know what happened to emilitoo. We were so focused on what was going on with adapting that it looked like Zyrhoes was just able to put out a ton of damage on the back line. It nearly killed Yammyn and emilitoo simultaneously, it felt like. So definitely a really good defense from Dignitas, and now they can definitely contend around this Fire Giant because it's not just Dig that is losing relics at this point. It's basically all of NRG who's low on relics as well. So Dignitas still putting up a great fight and have the potential to try and turn it around.
Those fights are always awkward, though. After you come back from base, you're like, okay, who used what relics? And you're like, well, they used that. And you're like, okay, what stage of the fight was it? Because is it so back up again? Is it sometimes just worth waiting yourself for a full reset because then you know what they've got available and you know what you've got available?
Well, if you know that they used a late Aegis or in Yammyn's case, a late Purification beads, you can say, okay, my beads are up and his are probably still down. Or if I've got 10 seconds left on mine, he's probably got 25 left on his. So you can use those as kind of relative point a lot of the time. You just have to decide, are we going to be the initiators? Can we actually take advantage if we are the initiators of having relics be down on the other side? And I think both teams can answer yes to that question.
Like this Magi's Blessing for Variety here. He's the one that's being focused with these banish pulls to try and burn the ultimate time and time again, which has kind of slowed down his aggressionness of being able to go for the plucks potentially. So now that Magi's Cloak's online, he's going to force another rotation of abilities to get that situation to happen.
So now down for 45 seconds, but that's why Variety is so far back right now, as emilZy has that Blink ultimate available and hunting for it.
Yeah, I think NRG are just waiting here for Yammyn's relics more than anything else, and I guess the Aegis from emilitoo, at least before they start really committing towards this Fire Giant. QvoFred is coming in from the mid lane, so just keep an eye on that off screen to your left-hand side. The rest of Dig all grouped up to the bottom side, where the tier 2 tower would be in the right lane.
NRG can pull this Fire Giant and reset it infinitely. They'd have so much sustain between the Sylvanus and the Chang'e that this is not a concern.
But this is okay for a Dig, because none of the lanes are in trouble either. We
No.
could just dance here for half an hour.
We good? What are you doing in half an hour?
Probably still casting this game, maybe. We'll find out.
Cool, see you there.
emilZy still the one on that side. You can see emilZy watching this for the blink opportunity if his team want to go aggressive. But the moment he does that, QvoFred just been pinged there in that mid lane area. He could immediately wrap round the back, and that's why Adapting's starting to pay attention too, because he's winning the trades against Qvo time and time again.
Adapting didn't know he was there, but they both exchanged some poke, but that's a victory for Adapting because NRG has the sustain, QvoFred does not. Pyromancer finished by NRG very quickly. Adapting's going to get healed up, whereas Qvo has to go back to base. That might open up a window for NRG.
2 Pestilences, as well as the Divine Ruin I can see in the builds for Dignitas so far. And the Cursed Ankh as well, which we've not mentioned from Trixtank. But it's going to be used at the right time to really get a good coefficient out of it and make sure it really makes an impact.
I love it. I love this pickup from Trixtank. You know emilZy is just going to instinctively press 2 because it gives protections in the middle of the team fight, not just about the healing. And that could be the ultimate demise.
QvoFred has to dip out from the right-hand side where he's trying to flank round, but left-hand side now, the minions have done good work for NRG. I'm pushing down towards that Phoenix, and you can see the pings going down, warning them about what's going on. So Vright's going to pluck emilZy. emilZy's getting engaged on from the Supernova from Zyrhoes. The follow-up damage from the silence of Izanami's there, but emilZy is still alive.
And he's still healthy, too. Adapting coming around the back. He's going to blink right on top of Arkkyl. maniaKK the focus. As Qvo committing and can't quite do it.
Yo, emilZy's blink is actually going to kill Qvo. He saves maniaKK too. No. And emilitoo goes up, takes out Arkkyl. And Dignitas on the run. 3 members left alive. And I've got to say, I agree with the call from Dig there. They didn't want Sylvanus. They went after Sylvanus. They just knew the minions were going to force someone back, so why not go for a play first?
It was the right idea because I think they saw Yammyn and emilitoo back. I think they saw that happen and go, okay, now's our time. And it was. It's just that emilZy
is too tanky,
follows the perfect support principles of last one out. Make sure you're the last one out so that if anyone's getting blink plucked, it's got to be you. Good shell usage, good blink usage, just perfect wisp timing. And Dignitas dumps 4 ultimates, 5 ultimates maybe.
Yeah.
Into trying to kill him, and I don't think they got him much lower than half.
As soon as that Supernova hit, you knew there was going to be a bit of a rough situation for them because he invested so much. Invested onto Zyrhoes now, and he is removed thanks to Yammyn, and Adapting combining beautifully there. Second Phoenix falls, and the base of Dignitas is in tatters as NRG swing to the left-hand side.
Left side can go down easily now, too, with Zyrhoes on the respawn timer. Plus, look at the relic situation for NRG. Pristine nearly is. That's a pull.
Good pull, good knock-up, good removal of the support for Dignitas. 5 members still alive as Adapting's trading with Arkkyl, and Arkkyl is not enjoying that one. Neither is QvoFred, who gets a good knock-up towards the end, but he still loses his life to Adapting again.
And Adapting got both there, by the way, because why would he get anybody else besides the 2 targets that he can kill with ease? Dignitas played great on the defense this game. It really was impressive, and it just wasn't good enough. And NRG was just better today.
This was an impressive set by both teams. Granted, NRG looked amazing throughout the whole thing, but you still can't count on Dignitas. They put up a good fight there. Just NRG on the day, like you said, better team.
Game 1 was not a great performance from Dignitas, but I do think they deserve credit for how well they played the defense during Game 2. Man, it's just, like I said, when Adapting plays that well and the rest of NRG is there to support him, they look completely unbeatable. emilZy played great on the Sylvanus.
He did.
Played great the game before that. maniaKK played well all set long. Like, where do you go? Like, what lane do you beat on when everyone is playing that well?
You guys get to vote for MVP there. Adapting definitely the one on the edge of there. I think emilZy's play right at the end really stood out for me. That blink over the wall.
Yeah.
CC QvoFred under the tier 2. Made sure maniaKK lived. Pretty impressive. But that's it for the Dignitas versus NRG set then. Desk, what do you think?
I think it's going to be tough now for anyone trying to play up against NRG, Graham. I don't know about you guys, Taco. NRG are looking really, really good. They felt like they weren't ready for that first set, and it kind of looks like maybe they were right. They were ready for this one.
They were more than prepared, I think, to
Yeah.
take on Dignitas. It just felt like every single avenue of approach that Dignitas tried to introduce was immediately met with a roadblock from NRG. They were all over the place, but especially adapting. This
Yes.
dodgy, the Powwow pools could not have been more perfect.
And he knew, and he was right. It was this recognition. I can't be 100% on this, but I don't think it was a dodgy from minute one, right, in picks and bans. But I think that they're sort of going like, I bet dodgy would farm here, and then they do, and they're right, and it totally works. It's just excellent recognition of the comp they're going into, of how to make that dodgy work for them. And it's not just adapting. Yeah, he was really going off, but like they said, emilZy was controlling the fight so well. So was maniaKK, for what it's worth. They could not touch him, except he died a couple times, but for the most part, they could not touch him. I mean, excellent play from all of NRG.
It also just felt like, in general, Dignitas couldn't really afford to get very close to NRG. It just did
Right.
not seem like the damage was being as evenly spread throughout the entire team. Everything was kind of onto Zyrhoes in the second matchup, and there was only so much that a Soul can do. There was one really strong Phoenix defense out of Dignitas on that left-hand side where Zyrhoes comes up big, but it's hard to have repeat performances like that underneath every single one of those sieges.
Especially when someone like NRG goes about it so smartly and are able to win, or you have to worry about maybe a dodgy being piloted by adapting on the other side. It makes life harder, to the point where he earns himself that MVP vote, at least from all of you out there in Mixer chat. And I think y'all absolutely got this one correct. I mean, at a certain point, right, we were saying that it's got to be these types of performances from him again if they want to beat teams like Dignitas. And that's absolutely what he delivered on.
And that's all that really needs to keep happening. If NRG want to find themselves still staying in contention for that top two, I mean, this is certainly a set that you want to bring home. Finally, Dignitas no longer undefeated.
And I've talked about this before. There's different value to the points you get. They're all worth 1 point, but what I mean is this is a point very likely no one else will be able to get. You know what I mean? No one else is beating Dignitas, or very likely. Someone certainly could, but it doesn't seem likely. So getting a point where no one else could be huge for NRG.
The thing is that first cut is the deepest too, because for Dignitas,
That's true.
This was the first strike against them for the fall split, and I cannot imagine that they are looking to have any repeat experiences for this feeling.
No, that's a good point. It could be very difficult for whoever is unfortunately second to try and take down Dignitas. They might come in with a bit of fire after how this match end up going. But didn't it just look very, very strong in NRG's favor? I mean, let's go and take a look at where they end up after winning that matchup, because I got to imagine that puts a good bit of distance between them. Yeah, 5-2 with Obase and Rival still to play later on today. So that could potentially put even more space between these teams.
But not necessarily space between NRG and Obey. If Obey come out on top in this Rival set, not only does it essentially shut Rival out
I think
from
it does, yeah.
any hopes of trying to catch up, but also Obey are just going to stay on the heels of NRG, constantly threatening them for that second place position.
It's such an important set coming up, and I'm glad you brought it up.